Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dynasty Wonderland podcast with me, the Mad Chatter Ryan MK. That's right. And yes, once again, just me, flying solo again. So I apologize, particularly to those who, might be sick of hearing just my voice. I completely understand. Actually, I don't. I quite like the sound of my voice, to be honest, as narcissistic as that might sound. But that's part of what comes with podcasting. I don't think you can do it, or maybe you can. But you got to be okay with hearing yourself talk a lot, I think. And I'm just fine with it. But I can understand in a way why someone else might not be. But our good buddy Aaron, I spoke with him today. Sunday. I spoke with him Sunday. You know how it goes. I recorded. It's Sunday night right now, but most of you will hear or see this Monday, right? Or later on in the week. So Sunday, I spoke with Mr. Aaron, the captain, the salary captain, the March Heron. And don't forget to get on Twitter at AARonStew09. AARONSTEW09. Aaron Stew. Get on. Check him out. I mean, obviously not a lot of stuff there recently, but get on there, give him a follow, make sure to wish him well, all of that, because talking to him, he's he's had some good moments, but it's a lot of up and down with the COVID. So, he's hanging in there, fighting it. And we just hope he gets better soon so we can come back by my side, right? And this can go back to being the way it's supposed to be. But I carry on, despite my own issues, car issues, really, which is really just driving me more mad than I already was. Kind of insane. I'm just losing. It's insane. I'm losing my shit over this car stuff. And you might have gotten that a little bit if you listened to the episode that got put out Sunday morning before the games. And because obviously we missed the Thursday night review, Sunday preview. So I wanted to make sure to get a little something in. So I did. And here we are again, once again recording. But I discussed on the other pod some of what's going on with me, my car issues and stuff. And again, it's driving me crazy. Insane in the membrane, insane in the membrane, insane in the brain. Insane in the membrane, insane and got no brain. I used to love that shit. Anyway, insane. But I digress. I'm not going to get into it again. Just know, your boy. Oh, man. He's enjoying his weed because that's helping keep the insanity down. I'll say that right now. But we move on. There was some good football, right? And we're going to get into it, Got to keep this rolling. Got to keep representing for the Wonderland. So we go. And so I welcome everyone back. We had our weeks. We had buys this week, right? No Falcons, no Jets, no Saints, no Niners. And really, is there a whole lot of big misses? Wait till next week. I talked about it a little bit on the earlier pod, the early Sunday pod. Yeah. Week 7's not going to be fun for Bucks. It's a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, as far as football goes, interesting day of football, really, because quite a few of these games, well, at least on the early slate, were blowouts. The witching hour was lame. And it probably seems especially lame because last week's witching hour was so great. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's NFL Red Zone. And it's that period of time when all of the early slate games are ending and the afternoon slate is beginning. So it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. I enjoy the witching hour. I enjoy Red Zone, and that's how I watch most of my football. But yeah, got some games that kind of got out of hand, uncompetitive in the early slate. So it happens. It happens. Sunday night football, a little more competitive. Seattle, Pittsburgh, Geno Smith, and hey, you got to give him a little props. He was out there doing his thing. I mean, dude has just been bench warming for a while now, and 209 for a touchdown. Okay, he didn't do anything terrible, but here's the funny thing: I can't tell if now we know the Steelers' defense is supposed to be pretty good, right? The Seahawks isn't. And so somehow Geno Smith went 209-1, while Big Ben went 229-1. They both got help from the run game, and the Steelers win in the end in overtime. But I can't figure out what the hell is Geno any good? Are we gonna? Is he any good? And it just was a bit of a rough day. Steelers D, or the Steelers that bad? Because, well, the offense specifically, because Big Ben, man, didn't he have an interception too? No, it was a fumble. He had something. I know he did. I don't see it. But anyway, that Steelers. I mean, Big Ben put up about the same numbers as Geno Smith against a Seahawk defense that's, we'll just say kindly, has teams have been getting the best of, right? So to be nice, I mean, we could mention that they were really on a historic pace to be one of the worst defenses ever, but we'll just say the teams were getting the best of that. And so somehow against that defense, Big Ben resembled Geno Smith. But if this is all we're going to get from Geno, then my proclamation that Metcalf and Lockett would probably be all right gets a little dicey, right? Gets a little dicey. 1 week down, a couple more weeks in the books. Hopefully, Mr. Russell Wilson comes out. That is the biggest takeaway from this game. Come back, Russell. Come back, Russell. Speaking of injury, talk a little, infirmary. Because Baker, that torn labrum or whatever, I guess that's re-injured. If it's torn, how do you reach it? I don't know. I don't understand that stuff enough, to be honest. So Baker's banged up. We got Kareem Hunt hurt. We'll talk more about him later. Kadarius Toney popped off a little bit, left with an ankle injury. Paris Campbell, we'll talk a little bit more about him. And T.Y. Hilton as well. So we'll get into those guys later. But yeah, already some big names on the injury report. But we'll get into what I'm going to call for now Week 6 madness, because not really going to do my Mad 5. We're going to save that for when Aaron gets back. And because of the blowouts and things like that, I didn't want to go game by game necessarily like I think I did last week. So we're just going to do kind of like, I guess this would be similar to like a Mad 8 or 9. Something like that. So that's what we're going to do. So are you ready, people? Are you ready? Let's get into the Week 6 madness, because there was some madness, right? It begins with the flock That's right. I'm going to keep up with the titles. The flock. The Ravens. I talked about them, and I've spoken of my love for Lamar Jackson. He's one of my favorite football players to watch. He's great. And his team's on a motherfucking roll. And today he didn't have to do it so much in the air because they were just slamming it on the ground against the Chargers. And the defense came to play. The Chargers, 6 fucking points. Justin Herbert had 195 yards, a touchdown, an interception, got started a couple of times. They got Austin Eckler didn't do a fucking thing off of his head. And, when we say that here, that's just, we're not really wishing for someone's head to be off. No. It's just, we're the Wonderland. It's taken from the Wonderland. So you just go with it. But Eckler, man, sorry, this week, over the head. But the Ravens, the flock, man. They can still run. They used a plethora of dudes in this. Devonta Freeman had 53 yards and a touchdown. Lamar Jackson himself had 51 yards. Latavius Murray, 44 yards and a touchdown. He ended up leaving with an injury. Le'Veon Bell, this one's funny. He did get a touchdown, and he got 8 carries, but he went for 18 yards. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. It's just, what are we doing with Le'Veon Bell? I feel bad for him, but he's not good anymore. Like, we can't just stick with, Devonta Freeman had averaged 5.9 yards a game. He did have a long of 16, but still, it's come on. I don't know what happened and how he dropped, again, Devonta Freeman at least can do something. I don't know what the hell happened to Le'Veon Bell. Was he just a product of the Steelers? I don't know. He just, he hasn't been the same. He just hasn't been. But otherwise, the positivity for the Ravens. I mean, they're just running the ball. Mark Andrews, 5 catches, 68 yards and a touchdown. Marquise Brown went 4 for 35. And then, of course, the man I was waiting for, Rashad Bateman. I am a member of the Bateman Brigade. That's right. And he went 4 for 29. But hey, got to start somewhere. Not quite the explosive start I was hoping for, but let's see what happens next week, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. But the flock, man, kicking some ass. I've been talking about it a couple weeks now. This team, I think, could get really dangerous. And you know what? They just look scarier and scarier as it goes on. And I'm a little, fearful for another one of those teams in the AFC North. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. So we move on. Well, no, we'll get into that right now. It's next on the list, obviously, because I'm just going by my list at this point. My little notes list in the notes app. That's right. So next topic. The Birds bury the Browns. That's right. This would be the team that I mentioned, the Browns. You got Baker banged up. Chubb missed the game. And, that's got to be part of it because the Chubb is damn good. And Kareem Hunt is great. But I love how Kareem Hunt operates in his role. When there's no Nick Chubb, that's tough. Kareem Hunt, again, he did get injured. He left with, calf injury. But he went 66. He went for 66 yards and then 3 catches for 12 yards. So not what everybody was expecting. But they really kind of got rocked by the Cardinals. And, Odell Beckham actually did have an okay day. He made some noise, 5 for 79. And then the receiver that really got going today was Donovan Peoples-Jones for the Browns. 4 catches, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, been a rough day for the Brownies. They lose 37-14. The Cardinals are just, man, I look at these two birds. The Ravens. The flock. in the AFC. The fucking Cardinals. The sharp Cardinals. They in the NFC. And fucking Kyler Murray, 229 yards. That's it. But 4 touchdowns. That's right. And he didn't really do much for rushing. And really, the interesting part about this team is they also can kind of beat you in different ways. And today, I don't know if this is going to become a trend, but James Conner had 16 carries. 16 for 71 yards. Chase Edmonds, 4 fucking carries for 46 yards. And he had a long of 40, meaning his other 3 carries were for 6 yards. So I don't know. Chase did have 3 catches, only for 4 yards, but but this was the James Conner show for the Cardinals. So I don't know. It's weird, but safe to trust Kyler Murray, obviously, always. And, he very much spreads it around. I mean, obviously, DeAndre Hopkins, only 55 yards, 2 touchdowns, though. Bam. Christian Kirk had a touchdown. AJ Green. So, if you've got Kyler Murray, you're loving this season so far. And, he's pretty good to his weapons. I'm a little worried we're not seeing more of Rondale Moore involved. Perhaps that's further down the line or even next year. Just 4 targets, 3 catches for 16 yards for Rondale Moore. And then Chase Edmonds, again, he's had some decent games, but James Conner, I didn't think he'd ever be a thorn in Chase Edmonds' side. And, hey, I was wrong because there's at least this fucking game. 16 carries. Chase Edmonds didn't do a whole hell of a lot. James Conner. Well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with Chase Edmonds? Something to ponder. Remember Christian Ponder? I remember trying to talk myself into that guy a couple times. Christian Ponder. Anyway, we continue on. The replacements. Speaking of Christian Ponder, I should not shit on him. He seemed like a very nice guy. I don't know if he is or not, but when he played for the Vikings, he seemed like a very nice dude. Anyway, the replacements, as in all these running back replacements, okay? Because we had all these guys out. Saquon Barkley's down, no Chris Carson. That's been in it. Dave Montgomery and Damian Williams out for the Bears. Again, Nick Chubb, and then Christian McCaffrey. So Alex Collins looked good, right? For the Seahawks. 101 yards and a touchdown. I'm not big on him. Then there's Khalil Herbert. I don't have a ton of him rostered. And it I don't know. It's just one of those guys that never really caught on to, but he's done well. 97 yards, a touchdown, and then he had a couple of catches for 15 yards. So he's playing well in that offense. And then you look at Darrell Williams in Kansas City. Now, this guy, Darrell the Barrel, I picked him up in one of my main Dynasty leagues probably 3 years ago, like when he was, I think, a rookie. And I'm like, this Darrell Williams, okay, because he's been like steady, like 3rd on the depth chart for like a minute, like for almost that whole time until this year. They draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and you're like, no, times I thought about just dropping Darrell the Barrel, but I didn't. And so he goes into this year where he's essentially the number 2, right? That's crazy. And sure enough, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 27 yards. Not bad. Excuse me. but that's not bad at all. So if you rolled him out there, took a chance on him, if you played him in DFS, I mean, that's payoff right there. Damn. Kareem Hunt, I mentioned, sorry. I'm mad. Remember, I'm crazy. Insane in my brain. Just remember that. Okay. But Kareem Hunt, the previously mentioned, 66 yards, and then he got a few catches for 12 yards before leaving for the injury. And we had brought up, there I go with we again. I had brought up in the pod earlier, Dearness Johnson, Demetric Felton. Dearness Johnson did have 1 carry for 2 yards. And Demetric Felton did have a couple of catches for 14 yards. But yeah, as you can see, it was pretty much the Kareem Hunt show. Got hurt late in the game, so it is what it is. We'll have to keep an eye on really like a ton of people from the Browns. The Browns are fucking banged up, and I feel bad for them because I was really rooting for the Browns this year, right? Really rooting for them. I meant to bring this up when I was talking about how they got buried by the birds. But I've really been, because I don't have a team, so I've been rooting for the Browns, really rooting for them, and they're in a tough spot because Baltimore's fucking rolling. And Cincinnati, they continue to win as well. So, and we will talk about that later. That's right. But we continue with the replacements. No Christian McCaffrey, so you got Chuba Hubbard once again, and he was fine. 61 yards, a touchdown. One catch pass for 4 yards. So there you go. And then here's one guy. I think this is the guy that I was not big on, especially not big on. In the early Sunday podcast that came out, and that would be Devonta Booker, who I actually used to be a fan of, and when he first came out. But yeah, 41 yards, 4 catches for 28 yards. I mean, I guess he got you at 10 points in a video. Like, wow. Not great from Mr. Booker. My brother was telling me how he made the mistake of playing Devin Booker and the basketball player plays for the Giants now. Interesting. What's up, Taco Cat? Anyway, see, this is where the co-host comes in handy. It's okay for my other pod, because I'm just rambling and ranting on this and that. Usually it's already shit in my head. Which, by the way, don't forget to check out my Miscellaneous Degree podcast. Same place you find this one. New episode out Monday or Tuesday. But I digress. So the replacements, for the most part, not bad. And then we move on to the next. And this is called Fuck You, Gruden. I really thought the Broncos were going to get back on track. But they're just not like I thought they were great or anything, but I thought they'd show a little better than they had. And although they did end the game against the Steelers in that comeback fashion decently so. But no, this was all Raiders. This was all fucking Raiders. Josh Jacobs got a touchdown. Kenyon Drake got a touchdown. Derek Carr threw for 341 yards and 2 touchdowns, which one went to Ruggs. Another went to Kenyon Drake. So, I mean, Darren Waller, he was the only, 59 yards. That's it. So, not a big day for Darren Waller. But Brian Edwards, 67 yards, just on 2 catches. But one of those was amazing. And then Henry Ruggs on just 2 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. So they continue to play pretty well. And, on the Broncos side, I was hoping a big game from Javonte Williams, but not to be. 53 yards. I mean, he looks good. But Javonte Williams, he did get 3 catches for 15 yards, but yeah, Denver's just a quarterback away, just like Carolina. Yeah, Carolina, both these teams, and you knew because they did, just because of their schedule and who they had played and all that, you knew that it might be a little different once they hit some more talented teams, and it's proven to be so for both those squads. So, but the Raiders, gotta love what they did. They came out, they kicked some ass, division opponent on the road after all the turmoil, and that's a nice big fuck you, Gruden. I just love it. Good for them. Good for them. The rolling Rams. The Rams just keep on rolling. I was talking about that earlier. Rolling and rolling. I keep saying rolling. Everybody's rolling today. Everybody is rolling. Oh, the poor woeful Giants. They scored 11 points, but it didn't matter because the Rams went for 30 fucking 8. And unfortunately, Robert Wood, what are we going to do with Bobby Trees? 2 catches, 31 yards. He did get a touchdown to save the day. Oh, what the fuck? What is going on? Meanwhile, Cooper Kupp, 12 targets, 9 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, if you are playing Cooper Kupp, you are so magical. Because he was one of the guys, when he first came out, just so unsure about. So I didn't have a lot of him rostered. Or him rostered a lot, I should say. And then, but I mean, this year with that connection with Stafford, it's fucking ridiculous. Stafford, 251 yards, 4 fucking touchdowns, 22 for 28. Damn good. Damn good. Darrell Henderson, 78 yards off 21 attempts. He got a touchdown, but I mean, the more efficient Sony Michel, 9 for 42. Imagine if they just let him run the fucking thing, take the lead. Imagine what he could do with it. Just saying. Just saying. Not for nothing. Not for nothing. We go on to JT Stampedes and the return of TY. The return and exit of TY. That's right, the Colts. Now, this is a team I could see them being a little dangerous if they get going. Really. And it looks like they might, they, not that they don't have some no tough games coming up, but they've also got some very winnable games. And they're likely to be right there with Tennessee because Tennessee is going to get their ass kicked by Josh Allen and the Bills. So, But Jonathan Taylor went fucking banana hammock, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, just killing it. A reception for 13 yards. Cherry on top. T.Y. Hilton, in his return, I didn't know what to make of it, if he was going to be incorporated right away. If not, 4 catches for 80 yards. And leading receiver. Basically, yardage, targets. I mean, it's insane. Paris Campbell had 1 catch for 51 yards and a touchdown before he left the game. These Colts, they have some weapons. Michael Pittman, it was like Michael Pittman, he's the guy. He's the one that they keep going to. This week, 2 for 35. It was other dudes. So, and that's something to look at too. Pittman's been really playing strong, but what's going to happen now that T.Y. Hilton's back? Because at least in this game, T.Y. Hilton took more of a lead. Anyway, Who Day? That's the name of the next one. Who Day? And that is, of course, speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals, the previously mentioned Cincinnati Bengals. And really, I begin with Jamar Chase because he has just been kicking ass. Another good game. 4 catches, 97 yards, no touchdown. That's okay. He, it's so often when you look at the wide receivers taken in a first round, it's damn near a coin flip. And usually it's not as savvy to take them early either. And the Bengals got killed for taking Jamar Chase. But oh boy, is it paying off. Joe Burrow, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, interception. I did not roster enough of this dude in rookie drafts. I did not draft him enough, not nearly enough. I don't have him rostered nearly enough. Interception, he did have, but good game from him. Joe Mixon went for 94 yards, 5 catches for 59 yards, and a touchdown as well. So, yeah, big game from the Bengals. And Jamar Chase, again, just killing it. Killing it. But yes, I am thoroughly enjoying the Bengals and behind them. I really just kind of dig the AFC North aside from Pittsburgh. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Moving on to the last, but not least topic. And that is Lamb of God. That's right. That's right. And there's another reason I wish my buddy Aaron was here, because he's a fellow metalhead. He would understand what I'm trying to say with this. Lamb of God is a metal band, and they're fantastic. I'm a big fan. But at least of their music, anyway. Can't say I know enough about them. And nowadays, you just don't know about people, right? So, Lamb of God, CeeDee Lamb, fucking killing it. 149 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, he is having a great season. And I had predicted, I wasn't the only one, but I was on the side that said, hey, this is the CeeDee Lamb year. Like, this is where CeeDee Lamb says, this is the year where his ascension begins, and he says, this, I am the guy over Amari Cooper. And I think we're seeing that. And this is just a guy, some of his catches today. I am just a big fan. There's players I really root for, I really enjoy watching, as I often profess my love for Lamar Jackson. That's one example. But, there's some really good players that I particularly latch on to. And CeeDee Lamb is another one of them. So it's great to see him doing well. Great to see it. Well, that's the biggest stuff. I'll run through, Washington crapped the bed over their heads. J.D. McKissick had a game, though, right? But I think we pretty much covered everything, Hey, rookie QBs, we can chat that. Look, Trevor Lawrence, got to give him some props. He's been playing better. It seems like he does a little more each week, and he's getting there, And the Jaguars get their first win. Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars. Now, I would have liked to see them keep losing just for the sake of getting rid of Urban Meyer, because I think in the long run that will help Trevor Lawrence. But we'll see how this goes. Maybe they turn around. I try not to be too judgmental, because people can change, and people can be later on in age when they change. But with Urban Meyer, it's just like he's done some scummy shit, and it's just like he did some scummy shit recently. And to me, that goes, what does that mean you changed in the past week? Because I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. So, strongly doubt it. But props to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, they finally got their win, and got a feel for Tua for a little bit. He actually played okay, and just a killer interception. So, and then you look at Justin Fields, the Bears-Packers game, right? Sorry, I know I said Lamb of God was going to be the last one, but then I forgot. I did want to kind of mention the rookie quarterbacks. And, it's not like the Packers played out of their minds. Aaron Jones, 76 yards. A.J. Dillon had 59 yards. Now, see, this is where something interesting with the Packers. 13 attempts for Aaron Jones, 11 for A.J. Dillon. Keep it on. 4 receptions for Devonta Adams, 89 yards. I mean, not a big game. Aaron Rodgers didn't even hit over 200 yards, but he did have 2 touchdowns. Now, Justin Fields, 174 yards, is kind of close with him, although 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 4 sacks. And, he's gotta figure out the sacks thing. And, it's weird. It feels like, we had some quarterbacks that came out, particularly last year, Burrow, he looked good last year. Herbert, obviously. And, we've seen rookie quarterbacks recently. We've seen some really kick some ass. And you forget that these guys are rookies. And sometimes it does take some time. It's kind of supposed to. So, just think we need to give these guys some more time. They'll get there. Anyway, Justin Fields, up and down. But he did have 6 rushes for 43 yards. So he's really getting, a little bit more where I just kind of wish, kind of feels like, I don't know. I still feel like they need to open it up for him a little bit more. But then you go and you look at, again, a big run game from Khalil Herbert, who I talked about in the replacements section. And, he had 19 attempts. So overall, they had 26 rushing attempts, 27 pass attempts. So pretty balanced. Whereas the Packers, they were more run heavy. So then you got, of course, Mac Jones. And that's it really, because Trey Lance on a bye. And we don't even know. Kyle Shanahan says, well, maybe it'll be Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll see. But Trey Lance on a bye, as is Zach Wilson. And you had that the previously mentioned CD Lamb. And I know I've said previously mentioned like 800 times on this podcast. But CD Lamb and the Cowboys. And they took down the Patriots. But Mac Jones put up a fight, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception, but he had some really good that throw to Kendrick Bourne was really nice for the touchdown. Otherwise, he was hitting, he's kind of spreading the ball around. You saw, Hunter Henry with a couple of catches and a touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson got involved in the passing game. Jacoby Myers, of course, got his targets. But it really was Damien Harris had a really big game because he had 18 attempts for 101 yards and a touchdown. And then Stevenson also had a handful of attempts. And so it was a good game for the Patriots, but the better team won, obviously. But, I think Mac Jones is I think you got to give Trevor Lawrence a little bit of a break because that's a tough situation with him. And then Justin Fields, I continuously thought, I don't know what the fuck Nagy's doing sometimes. So it's hard to trust him with Justin Fields. But Mac Jones, not that he necessarily has any of the higher ceiling of anybody. I think we know what we're probably going to get out of Mac Jones, but he certainly is viable in all fantasy formats, I think. And at some point he's going to be because just of where he is in New England with that system. Now, let's hope they get him some better pass catchers. But I do think you got to say he's playing well. He's playing well. So, all right, now we'll end it. That's it. Now that's it. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Oh, yes. Very long day. But the football, some of it lame, but it's some of it fun. So we look forward to week 7, except for some really good teams are not going to be playing. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining once again. The Mad Chatters get the fuck out of here. That's right. And until next time.